Morning, friends. How you guys doing today? So I wanted to record a quick video about partnerships or joint ventures, not necessarily the structuring or any of that, because frankly, I haven't done any of those. But I have partnered on specific deals, and I thought I would just kind of break down something I call my partnership or joint venture circle. And it's again because there's so many opportunities in this game. There are so many people in various markets doing great things. I wanted to kind of share with you how I break down or would even consider partnering with someone. Right? If you're in the Fresno market, I would love to meet you. Right? If you're a wholesaler, agent, anyone in the real estate business, I would love to kind of meet with you. But I think one thing I owe you is kind of how I look at potentially partnering or putting together a joint venture on a single transaction. So let's hope that the technology works for us, because I actually did a PowerPoint for this one. So we will go ahead and move this and we will start. All right, so again, this is not meant to be pretty or sexy, but it's meant to just basically communicate a concept. So if we go forward and we just kind of, arbitrarily draw a circle and say, hey, if the entire circle is a deal, right? And by deal, it could be anything you mean. It could be a buy and hold, it could be a flip, it could be whatever you happen to think it is. When I look at a particular, all the pieces in putting a deal together, I really break down that into four distinct parts. Now, obviously, it is much more complicated than this. But again, when I'm considering something, having a conversation with someone, or potentially looking at partnering on a transaction, this is how I kind of break it down, right? If the entire deal is a pie, and again, it could be 5 grand, 10 grand, 100 grand, million, whatever it is for you, I believe it all starts in the upper left with finding the deal. There are lots of people out there doing direct mail, voicemail drops, text messaging, all those things that I don't want to do. I don't want to have the infrastructure. I don't want $10,000 marketing spends. Again, don't want to complicate my life. But there are lots of people doing that, and occasionally they find great deals that instead of being a wholesale fee on, right, 1, 2, 5, 10, whatever fee, they might want to say, hey, you know what? I found this. I think there's a lot of meat on the bone. I don't have anything else, but maybe I will partner with you and I'll take my fee when we exit. How exciting is that? Obviously, that doesn't work all the time, right? Because a lot of wholesalers and people finding deals need that quick cash. But if there was someone who found a deal that said was $200,000 in profit, but they were willing to wait until 90 days when the property was sold, right? That could be interesting, because in that example, if there was $200,000 in profit and they're willing to wait, right? In this example, I think they deserve 25% of said profit, right? Number two is, okay, who's going to fund the deal? Who is going to actually have money at risk, right? There are lots of people who have access to capital but don't have the time. They don't have the network. They don't have all of these other pieces, but they, through their job or life events or whatever, have stacked cash. And if you can find someone like that who is willing to be a part of it, they deserve a significant piece, because let's be real. Without the cash, these deals don't get done, and they need to be justly rewarded. And let's also not forget that these are the ones that are stepping up and frankly taking the most risk. Everybody else in this has time at risk, but they have time and dollars, right? There's opportunity cost of the dollars, right? They could use that elsewhere. But again, there's real money. So I believe people who are stepping up to fund deals and really put their hard-earned capital at risk deserve an equal share to everyone else in this particular scenario. Then there's actually the people that are going to be doing the work, right? The general contractors who are going to go in and only charge for supplies or physical things, right? It costs stuff to buy the flooring and the paint and all of that. They're not going to be charging labor, right? They are going to be taking their profit on the exit, right? Contractors like this because, on a job, they may make 5 to 10 to 15 to 20, depending on how big. But again, in this example of $200,000 in profit, assuming they are willing to do this and not, and eat the cost of labor, they could be setting themselves up, because again, the people that are finding the deals typically aren't, right. They're in front of the computer on the phone. They're not out in the field. They're not licensed. They're not all these other pieces. So if you have someone in the network that wants to be a part of it, I think they deserve potentially 25% of the profit as well. And then lastly, just like this circle doesn't exist without everyone else, you need to find someone that's bringing in the buyer, right? Ideally, you get these things sold while they're in flight, right? So you have no extra holding costs. Throwing it up on the MLS is certainly a way you can go. But I think if you bring a buyer to the market where you can really shrink time and make all these things happen, you deserve a cut of that. So when I think about investments or people bring me opportunities, I thought I should share with you how I look at them. I don't do these very often, but on occasion, it has happened. We're going to have to know each other for a while and have, a good working relationship and all of that. But maybe this makes sense to you, maybe not. But I have gotten asked enough time about when and how and if you consider partnering or joint venturing, how do you look at it? And this is it. I think the person that finds the deal needs to be paid. I think the person funding the deal needs to get paid. I think the person doing the work and eating the labor costs needs to get paid. And I think the person who brings the buyer to really put the finishing touches on a great opportunity deserves to get a piece of this. So that's it. It's not meant to be complicated, but that's kind of how I break it down. All right, call it the partnership or joint venture circle. If there's any questions, leave a comment below. If you want to reach out to me, you're in the Fresno market, you want to talk about stuff, send me an email at mzuber@onerentalatatime.com. And of course, have a great day.